Hi. So, nice to see everybody. Thank you. You know, my first Comic-Con, but I have to say that if you spend any time on Children's Hospital, it prepares you, because it's pretty much a mini Comic-Con. You know, people dressed up, absurd, comedy. So I'm very happy to be here. I am looking, when we go to the signing, I'd like to go and be in the middle of it, you know, so I can see everyone dressed as an Asian animal. I'm looking forward to that.
So what can we expect from your character this year at Children's Hospital?
I don't know. I never asked that question. I'm not kidding, because my mind doesn't work like that, so I depend on Rob and John. Last year they came to my house and we had a delicious chicken salad and a fruit iced tea and discussed the new season and Psy. And I saw nothing from that conversation in the entire season. So it was just a nice lunch, you know.
Would you like to share anything about Andy Griffith, his recent passing?
Well, you know, I first of all, I of course watched that show with Ron. Then I got to act with Ron, and I knew, oh my God, thanks. I knew the wonderfulness of him through Ron. You know, he would talk about what he did, what Ron did in the past, and everything. So, and he was a great liberal. He was a man who actually thought about the population that lives within the borders of this country, unlike so many other people that are in the limelight right now, which I never quite understand. But hey, what can I say? And can I ask a question? What do you think it is that the blue collar of America actually believes that the Republicans are going to take care of them? Okay, that's my question.
You know, I have a question I've always wanted to ask.
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to have to go back to Happy Days for a second.
I remember that show.
There was this one episode with Mork. And
with Mork.
And your character was the only one that could stop his powers.
Yes.
So I wanted to know, does that mean that Fonz was a superhero?
I would think that's true. Listen, remember, I also, in another episode, I hit the side of an apartment building and all the lights went on. That's pretty extraordinary. I was lying in the forest and I was really pissed off. I couldn't fall asleep because of the noise. I sat up, I said, cool it, and every animal just calmed down and went to sleep. I would have to say I was a superhero. Yes. Without a cape, without a mask.
Are you continuing your association with Happy Madison and Ambulance Adams?
I am. In October 12th, a new movie comes out called Here Comes the Boom, starring Kevin James and Selma Hayek. And we shot it a year ago in Boston, where, if you're interested, is one of the best sushi restaurants I've ever eaten in my life. If you ever go to Boston, it's called Oya. Oya. And Oya. And outside of Matsuhisa, outside of Nobu, you pay your mortgage, but it is worth it.
Now, you said that because you'd had the discussion about last season and then none of that happened. What was the thing that was the most surprising that your character ended up doing last season to you?
Being locked under a bookcase for 127 hours, with my arm being pinned, and I thought that a bottle, it was an antipsychotic, and I thought it was a glass of water. And John Hamm appeared. That was amazing. I don't know. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm back. Did you miss me?
That was a commercial break.
Yeah. Okay. As the head of the hospital, there is a fourth grader in bed in the hospital, and I bring her a service animal to help her with getting around the hospital, possibly helping her tie her shoes. And she says, "I hope it's a dog." And I say, "Well, it's a boa constrictor." And I put a real boa constrictor on her bed. I love that moment more than anything. Somehow that made me laugh.
And was it a real boa constrictor?
I swear to God, named Ginger.
Oh my goodness.
Honestly. Who was like really very calm being on film. Yeah, but this was a monster of a snake. Yeah.
I recently caught a film on that starred you and Harrison Ford.
That was one of the first movies that I made in Hollywood. I made it at Universal. It was made in 1977. I auditioned with a woman in New York to play the other part. I flew to New York to meet all these ladies, and it was Meryl Streep. And they would not hire her because they did not know her. So I was very lucky, and Sally Field came in. But Harrison said, "I just made a movie in England, and most of it was in front of a green screen." And then there was Star Wars. He's like a caged animal. He's a very intense fellow.
It was interesting to see the dynamic of the performance between you.
Yeah. I really enjoy him. Also, he's a master carpenter. Yeah.
What's the best part about working on Children's Hospital?
Honestly, first of all, working as an actor. Okay, right, straight up. I go to work every day. I am so happy. Okay, 2, being on the set with these people because they really are an ensemble. And then there are some people not here. Miss Ackerman is not here. Megan is not here. David Waynes is not here. It's really extraordinary because they are so wonderful. And you remember, even if it's 11 minutes and it's so absurd, to rehearse it and film it and get it and make it and without even thinking. Do you know what I mean? It's not like they say, "Well, I don't know if my character would do that." They just jump in and are extraordinary.
If you had to be treated by one of the doctors at Children's Hospital,
Yes.
who would it be?
I would set my hair on fire and run for my life. Wow.
I have one. First of all, I bring greetings from many places in Michigan, from the ages of
Thank you.
35 to 80.
Thank you.
They've all said, "Oh, myself."
Thank you.
The thing that I was most struck about when I was reading about you that I don't think many people know is about the books.
Yes.
Can you talk about it?
There was a lull in my acting career, and I had a manager for 60 days. His name is Alan Berger. He's now an agent at CAA. And before the company he was working for imploded, he said to me, "Write books for children about your learning challenges. But when you have learning challenges, you grow up thinking you're stupid. And that everything else is like, I got away with it. I am in the bottom 3% academically in America. Just as the truth."
Which you didn't discover
Until I was 31 when my son was diagnosed. And we were able to jump on it, and he went to Georgetown.
What was his diagnosis?
That he had dyslexia.
Oh, so it was the same.
Yeah. And the second time he said, write those books, I went, okay. And he introduced me to Lynn Oliver. And yesterday I was in New Jersey, and we spoke to 500 principals for primary and secondary schools. And we have written 21 novels together. I am in shock.
So that's a cause very close to your heart.
That is a cause very close that I talk about at any moment, and I will talk to children. 1 out of 5 has some sort of learning problem. And I will say to children, you have greatness in you, and how you learn has nothing to do with how brilliant you are.
Oh, definitely. Hasn't it been like it has
No,
correlation?
it's not been proven because people don't really deal with it. There is a very small population of teachers who are willing to look at a child and see who they are because they are under the gun. It is not even their fault. They have to teach the same amount of material to the fastest child and the slowest child, and they are hogtied.
It's great that you bring it up.
Thanks.
So, Henry, this is Comic-Con. Do you have a favorite superhero?
You know what? I didn't. Oh, you know what? I don't know if he's a superhero, but I've always wanted to be Zorro.
Is that who you dress up as?
If I did dress up, I think yes. I never thought of it, but yes, that's who I would dress up as. I loved the concept of Zorro. You know, and then Zorro, and then that goes to the Equalizer. That goes to Person of Interest. You know, it's all the same. That there is somebody in your corner that you have no idea about who just shows up.
Last one more question. Are we good?
What's your favorite part about Comic-Con?
I don't know yet, but I must say that table number 1 was pretty great.
Thank you.
I'm loving table number 1.
My understanding is that you film in black and white a bit, but with children's hospital and stuff. Is that different than filming in color?
No,
Canadian?
only for the cinematographer.
Okay, so
Only
there's
for the
nothing
lighting.
to
You are
colorize or
unaware.
anything.
You are unaware of whether you're shooting in color or black and white.
Okay.
The content is exactly the same. It is the cinematographer. Yeah, it's the shadow and the light and yeah.
And they have to be very careful about that.
Very careful. Much more difficult to light black and white than it is to light comedy. Comedy is generally bright.
Yeah. And to keep it fun and punchy.
Keep it fun enough.
Thank you so
Keep it
much.
fun.
Thank you.
Keep it light
Thank
and
you very
loose,
much.
right?
My boss, Rob Corddry.
And next we have Rob Hartley and John Stern.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Henry.
About to-